I have recently started a new job where I accommodate families in viewings and funerals at the Loudon Park Funeral Home. I have learned about this profession through an acquaintance of mine who has been studying mortuary science at CCBC. When I first started, I was very interested about how a person or individual who works at the funeral service has to put the family's needs first, and they have to do this consistently through a day-to-day basis because the unfortunate matter of reality is that many people pass away and need to be accommodated for. The funeral service industry is usually seen through a very narrow perspective by a large majority of the public. This is because most of the reputation that the funeral home receives is either extremely negative because somebody made a mistake, or some sort of entertainment. The TV show 6 Feet Under.
You've done a nice job. She looks so peaceful.
Well, she is at peace now.
If there's any justice in the universe, she's shoveling shit in hell.
Excuse me.
Or social media such as Twitter or Facebook. Because of this, the general public does not understand what employees at a funeral home or employees in the funeral service profession do in their daily routine. Therefore, I have asked my general manager, Patrick Fleming, to inform individuals viewing this video. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Patrick Fleming, and I am a licensed mortician. I am currently the general manager at the locally owned Loudon Park Funeral Home.
What do you do?
As a mortician and general manager, my job is to take care of everything it takes in order to help a family when they've had a death, and that includes from the initial phone call to the final disposition, burial, or cremation. I do everything in between that. In addition to those responsibilities, I'm also the general manager, so I have business responsibilities as far as budgeting, accounting, human resources, ordering, things such as that, growing the opportunities for our funeral home to serve more families, in addition to, providing direct service to families.
Now I'm going to ask you the same question, but in 5 words.
I orchestrate, I facilitate, I plan, I provide care, and I authorize.
How do most people learn about the funeral home, and what can you do to help people understand the reality behind things like social media or the news?
Oh, you mean about funeral service? Sure. Well, people encounter funeral service probably in 2 ways. They probably either are personally affected by having to plan or attend a funeral service for a loved one or a friend, or unfortunately they probably hear about some god-awful, crazy funeral director doing something horrific.
So as a funeral director, how do you help the public perception of the funeral service?
When I sit down with a family that I don't know, I have a very limited amount of time to convey to them that I'm trustworthy, I'm on their side, and I'm there to help. And that's an art form, because they do need to trust me, and they need to understand I'm there to help, and I am a professional, and I'm the expert, and that's what we do.
I have recently read a journal about how the social media responds to the funeral industry. That journal expanded on how technology has created a method of sharing information that the funeral service views as a threat because their job is to keep the respect, dignity, and privacy of the deceased and their family. As someone who is new to the funeral industry, I have seen this gap expand, and personally I think the only way to close it is to educate the public of what the main goal of the funeral profession is.